One of the flaws, I think, in the reparations movement is that we discuss reparations as a one-off payment, and that should not be the focus. Because slavery, you cannot put a dollar amount to the suffering and the pain and the torture that our ancestors went through. A dollar amount cannot suffice. However, we do clamor for payment because there was unpaid labor. So one of the first things I think we need to look at is, one, is it should not be a one-off payment. There should be discussions surrounding putting money or assets into a trust fund for future generations, not just the current generation.
Curlin Campbell spoke with GBN in his personal capacity. He says there is a need to ensure that those leading the fight for reparations are doing so in the best interest of Caribbean people. Campbell is of the view that because money can be easily devalued, consideration should also be given to tangible assets.
A lot of people feel that money is backed by, like the gold standard back in the day. No, money is what they call fiat currency. It's not backed by resources, diamonds, gold, or anything like that, especially the US currency and the UK currency as well. So we need to guard against that. I think if we're looking for reparations or payments, we also need to look at assets, tangible things, like maybe gold, whatever it is, but paper money should not be the total package.
He notes that the psychological damage and trauma of enslavement passed down through generations also have a cost.
The psychological damage and the trauma, the generational trauma that has been passed down through generations also has a cost. And I do not hear the people in the movement speaking about the psychological trauma, because those are damages that we must be compensated for. For instance, in a court, if I was attacked by someone, not only could I not sue for physical damages, I could also sue for, trauma. I could have PTSD. I could, there are a number of things that I could have psychologically just off of that one experience. So imagine our ancestors going through almost 400 years of torture, pain, and suffering, and death, rape, and just you name it, the worst of the worst. And we've never received therapy. No one stopped to say, you know what, let's do some group therapy for the people who've been enslaved. No, nothing like that. We were just told to get over it and keep it moving.
Campbell says proper infrastructure is needed to capitalize on the benefits of reparations. This, he believes, should also be factored in on the negotiating table with those countries and institutions that have benefited from the enslavement of Black people in the region.
If we do get reparations, we also need institutions that we own and control, where we can circulate the money amongst ourselves so that it could have the greatest good. What we need to guard against is that whoever we're looking at to represent us on the negotiating table, they must represent our best interests and not their own. And that is why I guard against the bourgeoisies leading that charge, because we don't know that they would negotiate on behalf of us, the poor people or the regular people.
Reparations is part of a 10-point action plan developed by the Grenada Reparations Commission, headed by Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Sir Hilary Beckles. On Monday, February 27, Sir Hilary Beckles will launch a reparations fund at the Grenada Trade Center at 10 a.m. as a wealthy British family apologize for their ancestors' enslavement of over 1,000 Africans across 6 sugar estates on the island. We will discuss the importance of reparations and the progress made on next Monday's Beyond the Headlines program at 8 p.m. Chair of the St. Lucia Reparations Committee, Earl Bosquet, Vice Chairperson of the CARICOM Reparations Commission and Chair of the Antigua and Barbuda Reparations Committee, Omardi Dobreen, and Chair of the Grenada Reparations Committee, Arlie Gill, will be joining the discussions. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.